A tornado doesn't just blow a house down, it deconstructs it. At 300 miles per hour, a piece of straw becomes a flying needle that can punch through wood. A family sedan becomes a 3,000-pound projectile. Across the American Midwest, when the sky turns that sickly green and the tornado sirens begin their long mechanical scream, almost everyone reacts the same way. They grab the kids, they grab the dog, and they head straight for the basement. But every spring across the Great Plains, there's a group of Americans who do the exact opposite. They grab their cameras, they start their trucks, and they drive straight toward the storm. So why would anyone willingly chase one of the most dangerous forces in nature? This is the strange world of the American storm chaser. And later in this video, you'll see what happens when a group of storm chasers gets far closer to a tornado than anyone ever should. To understand storm chasers, you first have to understand where they operate. Meteorologists call it Tornado Alley. It stretches across parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and the Dakotas. And every year, this region becomes the most active tornado zone in America. The reason comes down to geography. Warm, humid air moves north from the Gulf of Mexico. Cold, dry air pushes down from the Rocky Mountains. When those two air masses collide over the flat plains of the Midwest, the atmosphere becomes unstable. Massive rotating thunderstorms begin to form. Meteorologists call them supercells. These storms tower miles into the sky with rotating cores that can spawn tornadoes capable of destroying entire towns. For people living in Tornado Alley, supercells are a serious threat. But for storm chasers, they are an opportunity. Because seeing a tornado in person is one of the rarest experiences in nature. Storm chasing actually started as science. Back in the 1950s and 60s, meteorologists still didn't fully understand how tornadoes formed. So a handful of researchers began following storms across the Great Plains. They drove beat-up government sedans down empty highways, armed with film cameras and basic weather instruments. They tracked wind patterns. They measured pressure changes, and they searched for something meteorologists called the hook echo, the radar signature that often signals a tornado forming. Their research helped build the tornado warning systems Americans rely on today. But over time, something unexpected happened. Storm chasing stopped being just a scientific mission. It became a culture. Today, when severe weather starts building across the plains, storm chasers from across the country begin watching the radar. Weather models, satellite images, wind forecasts. When the conditions look right, they hit the road. Highways across Kansas and Oklahoma fill with pickup trucks loaded with cameras, laptops, radar equipment, and satellite internet. Some chasers are scientists. Some are photographers chasing the perfect storm shot. Others are simply fascinated by extreme weather. Because when everything lines up perfectly, the sky over Tornado Alley can produce something incredible. A towering storm cloud begins to rotate. Lightning flashes across the plains, and then a funnel slowly descends from the clouds. For storm chasers, this is the moment they've been waiting for. But chasing tornadoes is far more dangerous than it looks. Storms can change direction without warning. Roads can become blocked. Visibility can drop to almost nothing in seconds. And sometimes the storm moves faster than the chasers expect. Earlier, we mentioned the moment when storm chasers got dangerously close to a tornado. One of the most famous examples happened during the massive El Reno storm in Oklahoma in 2013. Experienced chasers believed they had positioned themselves safely south of the storm. But tornadoes are unpredictable. Within minutes, the storm suddenly expanded. The tornado grew wider. The rain wrapped around the funnel, hiding it from view. And before they realized what was happening, the storm was right on top of them. The sky went pitch black in the middle of the afternoon. The wind roared like a freight train. Debris slammed against the windshield as the outer circulation of the tornado surrounded their vehicle. For a moment, they were inside the edge of the storm itself. Some chasers barely escaped, and the event became a grim reminder that even experts can misjudge a tornado. Yet, despite the danger, storm chasers return to Tornado Alley every single year. Because when the conditions are right, they witness something few people ever see: a massive supercell stretching across the sky, a funnel cloud reaching toward the ground, and the raw, unstoppable power of nature unfolding in front of them. Today, storm chasing has become a global phenomenon. Some chasers run YouTube channels watched by millions. Others guide storm chasing tours, where visitors travel to the Great Plains, hoping to see a tornado with their own eyes. Modern chasers use mobile radar, satellite internet, and high-speed cameras to track storms in real time. But even with all that technology, tornadoes remain unpredictable. And maybe that's exactly why storm chasers keep chasing them. Because out on the wide open plains of America, when the sky begins to rotate and a tornado touches down in the distance, you're witnessing one of the most powerful sights on Earth. And for the people who chase storms, that moment makes the entire journey worth it. Storm chasers are just one of the many strange and fascinating subcultures that exist across the United States. From demolition derbies to roadside diners to thrift store treasure hunters, America is full of traditions most people never hear about. And here on Truly American, we explore those stories.